Good afternoon. My name is Betty Harris, and I'm one of the staff ministers here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. And I would like to welcome each of you here today. I see lots of familiar faces in the audience, and I would especially like to welcome the number of visitors that we have here today. I know that you have choices of where to spend your time, and it's wonderful that you came to spend some part of your Sunday with us. And just to orient you a little, we are a Center for Spiritual Living. We share the philosophy, the teaching, the way of life that was developed by Ernest Holmes, who we think of as our founder. And Ernest was a person who lived from about 1890 to 1956, I believe, and who did a lot of reading in religious materials. And he spent the time and pulled out those things which are common to all religious practices and put them into a particular book called The Science of Mind. And so this is the foundation of what we do here. We are committed to the idea that there is one source, one divine presence, one love, one unconditional acceptance that is the creator of the universe. And we believe that we are part of that. And so as you are here with us this morning, we believe that you too are part of this, that you are part of the oneness that is us, that is all people that were created, and you are part of the oneness that is God. And so we invite you to join this celebration that we have. You don't come here, or we don't come here on Sundays to get more holy. We don't come here to be saved from anything. We come here to celebrate together the fact that we have the possibility, the opportunity to live this wonderful life that we have here in this world at this time. And sometimes when you say, we don't come to be more holy, it might be easy to think, well, why am I in church on Sunday morning? Maybe that's why you came. And it's not that we can't change. We can certainly become more self-realized. We can become more happy. We can become more competent and fulfilled. It's just that at base, we are one with God, and therefore we are perfect. So on the basis of this, I would like to talk about change. And I'd like first to tell you a story, a short story. There is the person, his name is Suzuki. Sanriya Suzuki, who is a Buddhist monk. And he was teaching classes, I believe in Minneapolis, but maybe somewhere else. And he had been teaching all these people for a number of weeks. And after he had finished one day, a student raised his hand and said, I have a question, Roshi, which means old teacher. And he said, you've been talking about this Buddhist stuff for weeks now. And I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand any of it. Is it possible for you to say one thing that I can truly understand and take with me? And Roshi waited for the laughter to die down. And then he said, everything changes. Everything changes. And so, at the human level, everything does change. And at the human level, which is where we have the opportunity to make choices, as Bobby said, to make decisions about things that we want to do, we do have the ability to make those choices, to make those decisions. Sometimes it seems that our problems don't change. We may feel like we're stuck, but we can move things forward. And it's often been said that anytime change takes place, that it is because we are either pushed by pain or pulled by purpose. That our growing age doesn't move us forward as long as we're content. Our growing age doesn't help us step out and take the next step as long as we are just plumb happy as a pig in the sunshine. So we need some disequilibrium in order to push us toward the next step as we do this. Now, I haven't told you my topic yet, but I'll get there in just a minute. And so as we think about this business of change in our lives and making choices and making decisions, have you ever looked at somebody and said, I really wonder why they did that? Why did they react that way? I wouldn't have reacted that way. I didn't mean so-and-so. Why did they get upset? Or for yourself, why did I get upset? That seemed to be, now that I think about it, a pretty innocuous thing to have said. But obviously, my heart's pounding, and it is. So something that we need to remember is that we all come up throughout our upbringing, and we pick up things from the culture. We call it race mind sometimes. We pick up things from the culture, we incorporate them, they're embedded by our family, our society, and so they begin to be the way the world is. It's simply, this is life. This is it. This is the way. And yet, sometimes we're not that happy with it. Sometimes we would like to make a change. And one of the things that would let you recognize that is if you just sort of look at your life. We've all heard the thing, if you want to know what you believe, look at your life. Because what you believe will be outpictured in the way that your life is going. If it's full of trouble, if it's full of upset, if you're not happy, if it just seems like it's the pits down here, that's in some way being brought forth from your thoughts. And if you think life is wonderful, you're probably putting that into the mind of the soul as well. So my topic for today is called Teflon or Velcro. Teflon or Velcro. How to change your mind. And I'd like to start with a couple of things. Ernest Holmes, that I mentioned earlier, did say that the soul is the seat of the memory. And in that memory is everything that individualizes our way of thinking. It constitutes the way we look at the world, and this tendency can be changed through constant effort and a determined persistency of purpose. It sounds like another job. Determined effort and persistency of purpose. And if we want to change our life, it sort of is another job, at least in the beginning. I did not find making changes in the way I thought, accepting that some of my ideas were a little weird, and those sorts of things easy to do in the beginning. It got easier as time went on. And he also said we should be able to look at a wrong condition and know that we can change it. We should be able to look at a wrong condition and know that we can change it. And the realization that this is possible has to be gained by application of knowledge. And that's why we call this the science of mind. We have ideas, we have a teaching about how to attract things to us. We have a teaching about our thoughts outpicture in our life. And as we learn that, and as we practice that, and as we see the results of that, then we come to decisions about what's possible. That becomes the science of how we live. So let's talk about Teflon and Velcro. Recent brain research has shown that we tend to take in, i.e. Velcro, negative events, and to let slide, or to Teflon, positive occurrences. Something bad happens and we go, or somebody says a nice thing and it just sort of slides over and past. Like the scrambled egg out of a Teflon skillet. It's just, and the reason for this is that over the eons in which we have been evolving, certain things have become embedded in people. If you were a person walking the savannah of of Africa, my savannah, walking the savannah of Africa, and you heard the sound of a saber-toothed tiger, you sort of had three choices. You could grab your spear or a rock and attack the thing and see if you could kill it. Or you could take to your heels and run. Or you could curl into yourself and be very still and quiet and hope it didn't notice you. Those options have become settled into what we talk about as the fight, flight, or freeze reaction. When something scares you, when something is bad, when something seems dangerous in your life, we tend to fight, flee, or freeze. Now, that was wonderful on the African savannas when you were talking about saber-toothed tigers. It's not that much good when you're living in a social setting like we do, where the biggest dangers may be your boss's frown or something like that. So we still have the tendency to take negative things in as though they were critical to our survival and to hold on to them in that way. It's not the happiest way to live. Much of this research has been done by a man named Rick Hanson, Dr. Rick Hanson, who is a neuropsychologist, and he has recently published a book which is very interesting called Hardwiring Happiness. And it's, again, we have this plethora of books coming out now about how to change your mind, how to change your brain, how to behave in such a way that whatever is inside you gets to be different somehow. And he says about this process, if you're like me and like a lot of other people, you just go through each day zipping along, doing what comes up, dealing with whatever's there. But along the way, when's the last time you stopped for 10 seconds to really enjoy a positive occurrence? A compliment somebody said, a smile on somebody's face, your child slobbering on your ankle. Whatever it is that is good to you, whatever it is that is positive to you, if you don't take a few seconds on purpose to enjoy those things, to embed those things into your mind, into your consciousness, into your memory, then they're gone. Like that. That's the Teflon. But the Velcro of negativity has a tendency to stick to us in a way. And so we can make a decision about how we want to proceed with this. And the way to do this, Hanson gives a set of 4 steps. And he says the way to do this is to heal your brain. H-E-A-L. Heal is have a positive experience. Recognize it. Pick it out of what's going on during the day. If you don't have one that comes up spontaneously, create it in your mind. Find positive thing to think about. Notice it or create it. The second thing is to enrich it or elaborate it. Think about it. Put words to it. Tell yourself what a wonderful thing it was. Typically, feelings stay feelings. If you want to put them in your memory, you have to convert them into words. And so if you tell yourself what was good about this, what you liked, then it will tend to stay with you for longer. The A, absorb it. Enjoy it. Just luxuriate in it. And Hansen says that it takes a minimum of 12 seconds for a positive experience to become embedded, to become part of our way of thinking. So I would suggest that we don't really cut it too close, that we take maybe 20 seconds. And if you take 20 seconds to think about something good, something positive, something that makes you feel good, not just up here, but something at the feeling level. If you did that 12 times a day, you would have spent 4 minutes. And it would make your life better. Make your life much better. So I will give a very brief example. A couple of weeks ago, we're having this month on creativity at our center. And one of the ministers was speaking and said something about creativity, Have any of you ever felt like you weren't creative? Well, probably all of us at some time. My hand certainly went up. And the practitioner that was sitting right next to me turned back around and looked at this and said, "You're one of the most creative people I know." And I thought, where'd that come from? What is that? What evidence could she be using? I've been working on this thought. And so I thought, where did it come from? And I thought, well, okay, I can do things. I'm a good teacher. I can take complicated material and I can break it down into something that is simple for people who don't understand that field of thought to comprehend. I can do other things. I don't paint the Sistine Chapel. I don't sculpt. I don't even throw pots. But I can sew and I can knit and I can do things like that. And I can make jewelry and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I do have some creative possibilities. And so I absorbed it. I thought, yeah, she's right about that. I do. I'm not going to be Michelangelo, but I can be my creative self. And then the L is to link the positive and negative in a way. When you have a good experience and you've elaborated it, you've thought about it, you've absorbed it, it is yours, then sort of compare it with other things. Let it be, the next time I hear somebody say, I'm not very creative, or the next time I think I'm not creative, I'm going to remember this. And I am going to think a different thought. So, the heal is the words. H is have a positive experience, even if you have to create it yourself. Enrich it or elaborate it for the E. A, absorb it. Enjoy the feeling. Take it in. And then link it, positive experiences, with other sorts of things. So the challenge for this week is to notice what's going on in your life. If you find something happening that you're not that happy with, then don't pay any attention to it. But if you find things, and you will, that are lovely, that are reinforcing, that are complimentary, hold on to it. Think about it. Absorb it. Let it become part of you. And as you find more and more of these things, more and more of the positive feelings become part of your brain, become part of your memory, then you will find that the way you are approaching the world is somewhat different. You will put more good things out. You will get more good things back. And so, don't just let it slide. Let the Teflon go. And instead of Velcro in the negative and Teflon in the positive, began to Velcro the positive and Teflon the negative. And to simply think about it. That it's a good world. You are a good person. I am a good person. Perfect, whole, and complete at the spiritual level. We are all God's beloved child. We are created on purpose. We are here to live a life of purpose and to live a life of joy, contentment, happiness, positivity. And so, don't let old habits rob you of new, wonderful experience. Let's begin today to Velcro the positive. Your life will be better.